Hi, I'm Dr. Toni, the self-care doctor with Take Care with Self-Care. Thank you for joining me here in the Timeout Zone, our weekly segment of Hot Topics. The hands on the clock are gone, and time has stopped so that you can take care of yourself. Let's face it, grief recovery is not easy. It doesn't happen overnight, and it requires intentional self-care. So today our hot topic is grief recovery, moving from pain to purpose. As a minister who has counseled many people and walked with many on their transition from this life to eternal life, I have utilized many funerals and walked with many after their loved one has passed away. After the funeral, after the committal, after the burial, people are still grieving. Grief doesn't just go away. It is particularly difficult and hard for some folks around the holiday season and special occasions. I know from firsthand experience about grief and recovery. You see, my dad passed away a little over 16 years ago. He was the anchor of our family, and he ensured that all of us were home for the holidays. I come from a very large family, and so I know the importance of family gatherings, family, but most of all, I understand the pain of losing someone so dear to you. If you've ever experienced grief and loss, you are not alone. There are many people who are experiencing grief during the holiday seasons and during special occasions. But you don't have to go through the pain alone. There is a sacred place for healing, renewed hope, and purpose at Take Care with Self-Care, where we specialize in grief and recovery. The key word here is recovery. You see, before we can recover, we need to first understand what grief is. Grief is a natural response, a human response, to a very significant loss. And when we experience grief, it is like we've lost a part of our heart, a part of us. And so we have to figure out a way that we can re-engage in normal routine tasks, still honor the memory of our loved one, and have a sense of wholeness and healing, still keeping that person near and dear in our hearts. We all experience grief in different ways, in unique ways. The experience of loss for one person is not the same as another. For example, you can have a family that loses a significant person in their life, and all the members of the family will experience loss very differently. We also experience grief based on our cultural traditions, our belief systems, and also what our current level of wellness is. Grief is experienced on several different levels. It can be experienced emotionally, cognitively, socially, physically, and spiritually. The length of a grief recovery process is based on several factors. One factor is just based on the amount of trauma that loss had on you. Another significant thing that impacts your grief process is the quality or the significance of the relationship of the person whom you've lost. And here is a big one that really impacts most people, and it is having unresolved issues around your relationship with the person that you've lost. And last but certainly not least, the real determining factor of how long your grief process will be in terms of recovery is your willingness to deal with your pain and engage in ways in which you can heal and re-engage in your routine task. You see, the grief process is not a straightforward process. Sometimes it's like a roller coaster ride of ups and downs. Feelings of grief can trigger suddenly feelings that you didn't even know were still there. The sound of a song or a particular song, maybe just hearing that person's voice through a video or recording, seeing someone who reminds you of that person, or going to a certain place that you remember going with them on, or events such as a special holiday. It could be triggered by reading a letter, a special event like a holiday, or maybe even the anniversary of the death of your loved one. Grief recovery, it just takes time. You may not feel better for several months or maybe even several years. The average time for grief recovery is between 1 and 3 years. Your willingness to address your grief rather than avoid it will aid you in the recovery process. You can move from pain and despair to healing, purpose, and hope. If you are grieving, there is help. I recommend that you get help through Take Care with Self-Care. We help you to keep hope alive so that you can thrive, not just survive. Grief recovery is more beneficial when you do it in community or in counseling or a support group. More importantly, you should never isolate yourself from others. Grief recovery is an area of specialty here at Take Care of Self-Care, and we want to help you take care of yourself. So contact me to begin the healing process if you are experiencing grief and loss. I hope this information will enable you or someone that you love to take the next step towards healing, wholeness, and strength. Please share this information with those who can benefit from it. I'm Dr. Toni, the Self-Care Doctor, reminding you that in addition to our grief counseling services, we offer VIP days, which are one-on-one intensives. We offer discovery sessions so that you can explore and prioritize the things, the areas that you really want to address. And we also offer a variety of VIP services that address the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. So until next time, please feel free to leave a comment on Facebook or Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and remember that you are a VIP, a very important person. So take care with self-care. If not you, who? If not now, when? See you next week.